Hey guys, welcome back to Muse of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick. Today we are going to be talking about what I'm watching for the 2021 summer season. And if there's any of you guys who are new here, well, stay a while and listen. So, before we get into that, there have been some of you guys asking me if I'm going to do, like, my usual seasonal thing with MadLad, my good friend, a fellow reactor, how we usually talk about what we're going to be watching for the next season, bouncing ideas around, and whatnot. Well, because he's actually back in his home country now, we aren't able really to do that. We don't have the time to set that up either, but there is a special something that we've set up to kind of, sort of replace it, right? It's actually a podcast, which will probably be out by the time this video is out as well. I mean, I'll put in, the links over there and down there as well, so you guys can look at that if you enjoy us going back and forth. I do think some people think that having people to bounce ideas off of makes the discussion much more interesting, right? And if it's successful, maybe we'll turn it into more of a regular thing. However, on that note, this is me just doing my own anime selection, right? Now, first things first, I still have my usual problems of work and time and whatnot. I know it's getting a little bit old now, how I keep on saying this, but honestly, like, I guess I owe you guys at least some sort of explanation, right? Since there's many of you guys who have been supporting me through the past 2 or 3 years. And that is, well, my responsibilities have grown larger and larger, including managerial duties and report lines and whatnot. So, it is really stressful, and currently I don't really have the manpower underneath me to handle everything that needs to be done, right? So at least until the end of this year, it's still going to be quite the hectic situation. Will next year be better? I don't really know, but in the meantime, I am going to have to continue to limit the amount of anime I watch to about 7 per week, right? So basically 1 per day, and that I feel like balances out nicely with my actual work and my actual life as well, right? So, just to give you guys a heads up on that. And on that note, well, let's just jump into it and see what I'm going to watch. Alright, so, instead of how I usually do it, let's just, jump on my anime list and go from there, right? So, first of all, of course, we're starting from the continuing series. To me, that would be Fumetsu no Anatae and Shaman King. So, Fumetsu, if I'm being entirely honest, I don't think, I don't quite get why people love this series so much. Like, it's got an 8.6 on my anime list, but, it still manages to be interesting and all that. I think maybe it's because it deals with more emotional matters, and that is not exactly my strong suit, right? I'm generally not watching these anime to cry or to get very emotionally agitated and whatnot. But, it is getting interesting, right? Especially now, more than halfway through the series. I do still want to watch it to the end, and the original work is very highly regarded as well, so I do think that maybe there is still something I'm missing, so I'm going to continue to watch on. Now, Shaman King, oh man, that is kind of like a love-hate relationship, right? I've kept on saying, and I'll say it still here, that Shaman King is one of my favorite shonens of all time, and I was deeply influenced by the concepts within it, and as well as the main characters as well, right? To this day, Yo, the main protagonist of Shaman King, is still, to me, the shonen character to me, right? Like my hero, basically. Shaman King isn't exactly my top masterpiece series of all time. Shonen-wise, I'd be Gintama, but I don't really consider that a normal shonen. So, Shaman King, I still absolutely love it. I have to say, though, this adaptation is really more of a work for fans. They utilize all the original voice actors and voice actresses. You can hear the age, the strain in their voices and whatnot. So even though it is, quite nostalgic, it has that nostalgic factor for us fans and whatnot. In terms of a newcomer coming here and watching it and whatnot, it's not really newcomer friendly. They also blast through a lot of the chapters so far, a lot of the episodes. presumably to get to the good stuff, but still, it's causing, I can totally see how a newcomer would look at it and be completely jarred by the experience. I have to say that at this point, I don't think it really fixes many of the problems of the original Shaman King anime, which is that it kind of had a different feel from the Shaman King manga. And so far, this adaptation here, even though they are doing some things right, they are going for the nostalgia factor, they are utilizing some of the original openings and endings, they are giving us more arcs concentrated on stuff between Anna and Yo, the small but very crucial romance factor within Shaman King. But even still, I have to say at this point, it's not exactly a very good readaptation. And in fact, considering that there's not many people from my channel who watch it either, I am actually considering to drop it from my reaction series and just make it something I watch on my own time, right? And that would open up a slot for something else instead. So, we'll have to see about that, but basically those two are the ones that are going to continue from the last season. Now, let's get to stuff from this season, right? So obviously, first of all, we got Slime Part 2, second season Part 2. I am going to be watching that. I still need to get through some of the OVAs, actually, but, the funny thing here is that, one of the common descriptions I have for the Tensura anime is that it really feels like a kid's show in a lot of ways. The openings, the endings, how things generally are, and how Rimuru always has this knack of everything will be fine at the end, and so on and so forth. And last season was the one where really it seemed a lot more darker, right? And that's definitely to my liking. So hopefully this means that things will shape out a lot more. We'll be getting more epic fights and whatnot. So definitely going to be watching that. It is probably the most anticipated series of next season anyways. Maid Dragon, that is a sequel. Sorry, skip that. Tantemo Shinderu, Detective is Dead. This is actually something that caught my eye, but I'm still on the fence about it, right? The synopsis, I do like a good mystery, to be honest, but I'm not really sure if this is actually a series which deals with that kind of detective-solving mystery drama sort of situation. So if it is, maybe I'll check it out and give it a look, but at this point, and from what I've heard of early reviews and whatnot, non-spoilery reviews, maybe this is not exactly something I'm looking for. So, I think at this moment I'm leaning towards skip because I have other non-seasonal stuff I want to do, but anyways, that's the situation. Kanojo mo Kanojo, this is a series where I believe I've read the manga before, at least the first few chapters and whatnot. I did not like the original concept. I can't quite remember, but I think it's because I don't quite like the main character. So, am I going to be watching the anime for this? Not really, not really. There's plenty of harem rom-coms out there, and, well, let's just say this is not exactly high on my list at this point, so, move it aside for now. Genjutsu here, Realist Hero, I've actually already watched. The first episode is on my channel already. This is, the original work for this, the light novel, is something that I was quite interested in. I always make the comparison of this series to, Mayu Yusha, Demon Lord, Hero, that kind of, I'm not sure if you guys know, it was a light novel adapted into an anime, basically where the Demon Lord is a female, and she's like super smart, and she applies a lot of, modern world concepts, political concepts, economic concepts and whatnot into the medieval world. This one, I thought it would be kind of similar. It is an isekai after all, taking somebody from this current world into this fantasy kind of medieval setting and allowing the main character to utilize a lot of his knowledge and concepts and political theory into the kingdom, the world at hand. I quite liked the original light novel, even though it wasn't quite as deep as I was hoping it would be. With that being said, though, after watching the first episode, I do feel like the adaptation kind of dumbed it down a little bit. They made the characters more like your normal isekai shonen fantasy anime, which I'm not too, I have to say I'm not too fond of. I feel like they kind of made the characters a little bit too, how can I put this? A little bit too immature, like all of them, but we'll see, right? This is just the first episode. I don't think there's anything we can say just from one episode here. So it's still, I'm going to continue watching on for now. Bokudashi no Remake, this is another one that I kinda sorta was on my radar, but again, not exactly a kind of series. Looking at the tags, it's not exactly a kind of series that I'm particularly interested in. Redoing stuff, but then also having, rom-com in there and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's not exactly something for me. Again, looking at the early rating and whatnot, it seems to be pretty good, but at this point, it's not making the cut for me and causing me to push out other non-seasonal series I want to do over it itself, right? Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Sunny Boy, I am going to watch. I actually already watched the first preview episode, and I made a video on that, but it got copyright struck, so once it actually releases, like, with normal airing time, which should be in about a week or two, I will be, reacting to the first episode as well. I mean, this is definitely a series where they basically feature the full cast, well, not the full cast, a lot of the cast and staff of Boogie Pop, right? Boogie Pop Never Laughs. And the series, just like Boogie Pop, is more of a conceptual kind of series. It's not like, or normal fantasy, shonen kind of sci-fi superpower anime kind of thing. I think it's much more philosophical. I have my theories that it's probably a coming-of-age story as well, dealing with the adolescent problems and whatnot, a la, Monogatari, that kind of stuff. But it remains to be seen, right? This is an original work, so I'm not really sure. I quite like the first episode, actually. I like the characters, their designs, their mannerisms and whatnot. So I think it has a lot of potential, and not to mention one of my favorite voice actresses is actually in it. So I am definitely going to be watching that. And if you guys are interested in a work that's maybe a little bit more, how can I say it? It's a more abstract kind of anime or a more abstract kind of situation, do check that one out as well. And I think that is basically it, right? The rest of these, to be honest, nothing really catches my eye. Oh, sorry, Magia Record. Why is this so low here? Right, probably because they announced it a little bit too late. I have watched the first season of this, and once again, Madoka Magica is one of my top series of all time. Top 3 series of all time, the original series. I loved every single episode, every single movie of it, and whatnot. The spin-off here, right, sort of like, this sort of like side story here, I really feel like it doesn't quite fully encompass the sort of feel of the original Madoka Magica series, but just at the end of first season, I thought things did start to pick up and become more interesting, and a lot of people were telling me that, hey, this is when the true story starts and whatnot, so I'm like, okay, I'll continue to give it a chance, and I'll continue watching the second season as well, so I will be watching Magia Record second season as well. And yeah, and that is basically it, right? A lot of these stuff, even though some of them conceptually might be something that is good, looking at some of the more fundamental kind of stuff, like what studio is doing, looking at the trailers and whatnot, I'm not entirely sold on a lot of them, and again, I kind of value my time, so I would rather prefer to watch a work that I know is quality and I know I am going to enjoy instead, right? One last notable mention here is actually Uramichi Onisan. So, this is a work which, this definitely does not catch my eye, either in the visuals, or in the studio, or in the synopsis of it. However, with that being said, and thanks to MadLad who brought this to my attention, guys, look at that Seiyu list, right? Look at that Seiyu list. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, they have got all of the most legendary Seiyu currently of this generation, of the generation previous, and of 2 generations ago as well, right? Like Kamiya-san, Mamoru-san, Nakamura Yuichi, Sugira, and a lot of these others, Nana, and I believe Ryohei-san and Kazuya-san, these are like from the previous generation, also very, very well-known, very well-established voice actors as well. Kenjiro, my favorite male voice actor in terms of voice. Hikasa Yoko is definitely a legend in her own right as well. Like, look at that! I have absolutely no idea why the hell this anime has so many big names in it. Now, with that being said, just because a work has very good seiyus does not mean that the work itself can be salvaged. All right, I've had many a series where even though they feature great names in terms of the casting and whatnot, you can't save a fundamentally flawed series, right? No matter how good the voice actors and voice actresses are. So just this itself is not enough for me to actually say, okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch this series. But I will definitely be keeping an eye on this. Maybe this will be a sleeper hit or something of that sort. And if that's the case, then I will come back and watch this. It's definitely on my observation list, if you guys get what I mean. So, yeah, that's basically it for this at this point. And I think that's basically also it for this season as well. So, in terms of seasonal stuff, right, just from this new season, honestly, not that much is going on. Slime is confirmed, Sunny Boy is confirmed, and also Magia Record is confirmed, and that is basically it. So I do know that. Oh, and I guess I should talk about Aquatope a little bit, because this is also a series where I feel like has a very high potential of also becoming very, very popular as well, in terms of its emotional aspects and whatnot. Again, looking at the synopsis, this is not exactly something that I just want to watch directly, but if I were to make a bet on a dark horse of the season, it would probably be Aquatope and Sunny Boy. Alright, so, just my 2 cents here. So, yeah, that's basically it. I'm sorry that there's not more seasonal stuff going on. This is like, what, 3 seasonal plus 2 continuing series from the last Shaman King. I'm still on the fence about. I mean, if I do drop it, I'll probably just add in another non-seasonal stuff, or maybe if one of the other aforementioned animes I feel like is getting some quite good reviews and whatnot, and a lot of you guys are pushing for it, then I will go back to that instead. But at this point, this is what I'm watching. Alright, so with seasonal stuff out of the way, what about non-seasonal stuff, right? So, as you can probably see over here, well, I am planning to continue on with my watch of Code Geass with Season 2. We left on the big cliffhanger on Season 1, and, it really pained me to actually have to put that aside and, watch it later, right? But, definitely I am going to go back to that as well. It is quite the entertaining series so far, right? And, yeah, I just really want to see how exactly they are going to choose to end all this, because there's definitely a lot of moral issues and a lot of moral problems being posed in that as well. So, I am planning to also kind of sort of start picking it up and watching the second season in this summer season here. That is, of course, if there's nothing else that really demands my attention and really a must-watch, a must-see from this season here. And then, obviously, of course, the Monogatari series. Honestly, the Monogatari series is also right up there in terms of what I consider some of my best series, right? It's not top 3 for me. That will forever be Evangelion, Gintama, and Madoka Magica, but Monogatari definitely also up there. And in fact, hey, who knows? Maybe the ending of this will cause me to change my mind, because this is sort of the final season, I believe, Orai Monogatari. No, it's quite confusing and all that, but definitely I am going to be continuing this and checking it out as well. Alright, so there you guys have it. That's it for what I'm watching for 2021 summer. Again, I'm sorry if there's not too many new anime coming for this season here. It is a season quite light on works in the first place. And, well, I know that we definitely have a lot to look forward to in the fall and winter season. And in fact, it's probably also going to be one of those where it's going to be very painful for me schedule-wise once again. But, I keep on saying this, but I don't view this as a job, right? This is definitely a hobby for me, and, like all hobbies, you need to look at it in moderation. I don't want to feel stressed out about making these kinds of videos to the point where I don't want to do it anymore. It's just gonna be burning myself out, right? And, I don't think that really makes for good commentary or good reviews either, so I think it's better for everyone if we just maintain a nice little pace here. It is a marathon, right? Anime are gonna come out every single season. Tons of anime are gonna be pumped out and whatnot. I still have like a huge backlog to go through. Like, let's just calm down, okay? So I'm sorry if one of the anime that you're looking forward to in the next season isn't really on the list and whatnot. But again, I have been known to pick up a series like mid-season or even at the end of the season before if I see it really becoming such a force that I can't ignore it, right? Like Vivi from last season, it was always in the back of my mind, and I saw that it was getting very favorable reviews and whatnot. So once an open slot opened up, I immediately went to go see it instead. So, even though it's not really every like on time or whatnot, hopefully it's still interesting enough to keep you guys entertained. But anyways, that's it for 2021 summer. Thank you guys. As usual, if there's anything else that you want to really recommend, or maybe something I overlooked, feel free to comment it down below. I do try to keep a very tight sort of schedule here, but you never know. You never know. So anyways, thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the summer season. Stay tuned, guys. Bye-bye.